Are you constantly asking yourself, why am I stuck in the tactics? I'm constantly, every day feels like I'm responding and or reacting, and I'm not responding. I'm not having foresight. I didn't foresee this challenge. Is executive leadership constantly asking for things and you're like, why can't I get this right? Or why can't I move the needle on this business outcome? Well, it's probably because your tactics don't match the business goals and you're not in alignment. And when we think about alignment, business alignment, it is so critical when we think about the function of workforce planning. It is so key that you have a business alignment with your executive leadership and your executive goals so that you are able to make sure that you are designing, right, a workforce strategy that supports those business goals. Now, while that may sound right, and simple, it is a lot much more. It's very commonly missed, right? It is very commonly missed because we get so caught up day to day in doing our tactical thing, right? I got to produce the forecast. I got to create the schedules. I got to do all the things, right? All the work needs to get done. But I would highly encourage you to look up, look around, observe what's happening, and make sure that you understand what executive leadership is asking for. What are the business goals so that you can not only be tactical, but you can be strategic and be transformative. I'm super excited to welcome you guys to WFM Tipsy Thursdays, where we are using the book WFM Go Beyond all year long. So if you have yet to grab your copy, you can grab it at WFMGoBeyond.com. We are in chapter 7, where we're talking about strategic alignment. So you already have been traveling with us all year long, right? Throughout the book, we've already covered the tactics, right? So I'm not talking about strategy because tactics are not important. The whole first section of the book was dedicated to the tactics. They are critical. You have to know how to do the thing. However, we don't want to stay there. We want to push into the transformative. We want to transcend just our day-to-day jobs and our day-to-day tasks because we want to be transformative leaders, right? We want to move from the tactics. And so section 2 of the book, which we're starting now, or we're in chapter 7 rather, around strategic alignment with the business, is where we are now. So make sure you go and grab your copy at WFMGoBeyond.com to grab your copy. I am super excited, okay, about this episode because we have a special guest all the way over from New Zealand, a all-star guest, okay, a repeat all-star guest, Tony Knight. Thank you so much for being our guest this week on WFM Tipsy Thursdays. It's great to have you back.
Yeah, it's great to see you again and contribute to your WFM Tipsy Thursday edition today.
Yeah, I'm so glad to have you back. So, this week we're talking about all things strategic business alignment, right? And I think that you're super appropriate for this conversation, especially, seeing the different cultures, being in a different environment, all the customers that you're consulting and clients that you're working with. I think you're appropriate to answer these questions and talk about these topics. So let's kick it off with the big question I want to ask you is, what are you seeing currently as the biggest challenge or some of the biggest challenges when it comes to business alignment, when it comes to workforce planning, AI, and organizations driving the results, the business outcomes that they're looking for?
Yeah, it's a fantastic question because I find it a challenge in virtually every business that I talk to in this particular area. And the noise, that sounds like it's a bad thing, but the sheer volume of information and releases and stuff, everyone talking about AI almost seems to deafen out or sort of cancel the discussions that we need to be having around workforce management and the discussions as how we move that from tactical to strategic. The common theme that I'm seeing is exactly that. The workforce planners and the contact center managers are really saying, well, we want to move beyond just having the right people in the right place at the right time. And we're understanding that there's this new technology that is coming through that will maybe change that statement. But ultimately, we can't get the ear of the executive teams to actually have those types of discussions, because we're sort of on the second rung, so to speak, of the technology that is coming through. And I truly believe that that's a mistake for organizations, because the two are going to come together very, very quickly. And we're seeing already that happening as the CX environment sort of starts adopting the AI technologies and how that's changing our workforce. It is a real challenge and one that I think we do need to help organizations address in their plans in moving forward.
Hey, Transformative leader, listen, have you grabbed your copy of WFM Go Beyond? Go and grab your copy at WFMGoBeyond.com. WFM Go Beyond is sectioned into 2 sections. Section 1 is the foundation and the fundamentals of workforce management. The core 4, you've heard me talk about this: data gathering, forecasting, scheduling, intraday. But section 2 is the part that I get super excited about, especially for 2025, because we are pushing and encouraging and challenging leaders to go beyond and push into transformative impact. And section 2 is going to do that to help you understand how you tie your WFM strategy into your CX initiatives, your EX initiatives, and business profitability goals. So if you're an operational leader, executive, a WFM leader that has a operations efficiency goal, okay, and you want to drive transformative impacts, WFM Go Beyond is your resource. So go to WFMGoBeyond.com and grab your copy today. Bye. One of the things that I've been saying to my customers here is, especially like AI in real life, right? Is AI is your workforce. It's not a strategy of your business. It is not a tool of your business. It is your workforce. Like, no one thinks about me as a tool, right, in their business. No one thinks about you as a tool, and they think about you as a part or a partner in their business. And so I think it's a critical mindset shift that we have to begin to have when we think about as to how we think about AI. Why? Because when we think about AI as a part of our workforce, then we begin to think of workforce, both operations and WFM leaders begin to say, okay, a workforce is not about having the right people in the right place at the right time. It's about having the right resources in the right place at the right time. And that resource that's appropriate for this interaction may be a person, like a human being. It may be AI, it may be a machine, it may be whatever the resource is that's most appropriate for this interaction. But for this interaction, it may be X, Y, and Z. And so as our workforce becomes more dynamic, then I believe that workforce management or workforce planning becomes that much more critical. And right now, like you said, I think we're not having that conversation. And I think that that's a mistake on to massive degree.
So I 100% agree with you. And I wanted to start off by saying I sincerely hope that no one treats you as a tool in their workforce, because hopefully we move from that stage completely. And I think that organizations are probably missing that point right at the moment, that it is part of their work. And we're slowly starting to see that mindset change. But it is one that I think the workforce planners and the workforce optimization practice is uniquely positioned to be able to assist the executive teams in understanding that transition. It's not either or, it's and the AI resource and my agent and all the other things coming together and delivering an outcome that the customer wants.
You heard it from Tony, guys. That's so good.
And so I think that's the challenge. And I think workforce planners are really well positioned to help the executive team understand that.
Yeah, that is so, so good. They move from tactical to strategic, right? They are very well positioned. Why? Because they are looking at the data. They're looking at the demand that's coming into the business and saying, oh, we get these kind of interactions, and this is how long the interaction lasts. These are, they're looking at all of this data, and then they're saying, okay, how do we best supply that demand? Which resource is
Mm,
best able to supply that demand? So again, workforce management and workforce planning really is in that really sweet spot to really be a strategic advisor to executive
mm.
leadership on, hey, this is how the dynamics of our workforce should look, how we remain profitable, effective, and efficient when it comes to customer experience and our employee experience. Hey, transformative leader, listen, have you grabbed your copy of WFM Go Beyond? Go and grab your copy at WFMGoBeyond.com. WFM Go Beyond is sectioned into two sections. Section 1 is the foundation and the fundamentals of workforce management. The core 4, you've heard me talk about this: data gathering, forecasting, scheduling, intraday. But section 2 is the part that I get super excited about, especially for 2025, because we are pushing and encouraging and challenging leaders to go beyond and push into transformative impact. And section 2 is going to do that to help you understand how you tie your WFM strategy into your CX initiatives, your EX initiatives, and business profitability goals. So if you're an operational leader, executive, a WFM leader that has a operations efficiency goal, okay, and you want to drive transformative impacts, WFM Go Beyond is your resource. So go to WFMGoBeyond.com and grab your copy today. Bye. What would you say is one of the biggest myths, right? So we talked about the challenge of business alignment. What would you say is one of the biggest myths when it comes to, okay, now how do I do this then? How do I get into alignment with my executive leadership team? Or how do I go about making sure that I move from tactical to strategic WFM?
Yeah, it's an interesting one because I come across it quite regularly as well. And I suppose the challenge is that, once again, because there's so much information and we've all seen a bad experience of AI, and we've seen the ridiculous experiences of AI. So there's this expectation that AI is going to do everything for me. Don't worry, AI is coming up soon and we'll have all our problems sorted, and I was speaking to a consultant just the other day, and as he said, well, if AI could do everything, there wouldn't be a place in the world for you and I, because AI would just do it all, and we wouldn't have jobs anymore. And that obviously is not going to be the case. So it's really bringing organizations, executive teams, back into an understanding what is it that they want to achieve and how can AI assist in that. But as we've already said, your people are also key in that experience. So it's understanding what is possible rather than the ridiculous, and then embracing that in a way that we can actually move forward.
I think that that's so good, Tony, because I was just having a conversation with someone and I was talking about how we have what we call our A3 framework. I talk about this, I believe, in the book, and I talk about it all the time when it comes to organizations implementing AI, right, and as a part of their workforce and adopting it as a part of their workforce. And so that A3 framework really falls into, it looks at AI. Okay, so walk with me. It looks at AI from a skill perspective. AI, like a human, has skills, right? In a contact center, this agent has the customer service skill. This one has the billing skill. These two are cross trained, and they have skilling, and they have billing, and they have customer service. And so you just take that same concept and apply it to AI to say, okay, this AI, when I'm going to adopt this into my workforce, we're leveraging this AI has the skill set to alleviate interactions from my population. This AI has the skill set to assist my agents with a question to increase their engagement and the customer experience. This AI has the skill set to automate a workflow or a process, right? And some of your AIs are going to be multi-skilled, right? So they'll be able to alleviate or deflect volume, and they'll be able to assist the agent. And so it's the same, it's the concept that we have with humans when we think about skilling in the contact center, where, hey, you have this skill, this skill, this skill, or you're single skilled. And so when we're thinking about making AI real in real life, that A3 frameworks really, it really works with organizations to help them think about AI in that context. Okay, what skills do we need from our AI? Okay, and now how do we, the same way you wouldn't expect a human to come in here and work 50, 11 million skills, right? Your AI isn't going to come in here and solve for every single thing. AI has a skill set. And when we think about it in those terms, right, then it makes it that much more real and that much more tangible, the results that we get from AI. And so I think that that is one of the biggest, what you said about the biggest myths about AI doing AI is going to do this. We have to level set and say, no, we got to think about AI like we think about our humans having skill sets, and really, really define what that skill set of that AI is and what's realistic and for that AI for business outcomes.
Yeah, 100%. Couldn't agree with you more. It isn't just a plonk it in and it's going to work for me like we're seeing on the memes. It is a targeted approach, and obviously you can carry on targeting more and more areas and make it more and more holistic. But yes, it's always going to be and AI and agents and processes and all those other things. It's not going to automate everything for us.
My last question for you, I know we're coming down to the bottom of our time. If you could give the people a tip, strategy when it comes to thinking about business, AI and workforce management and workforce planning and aligning that to business goals, right? What would that tip be?
My tip would be twofold. Is really identify the outcome that workforce management has already achieved for you. It's optimized your workforce, so you've got a more optimized workforce. You've been able to address calls in a timeliest fashion. People are not phoning back because they're holding on too long for you to answer the call. All those features that we get from a really well orchestrated WFM strategy, and really try and monetize that, understand what is the value to the business of that, because that then becomes your platform to start the discussion of saying, right, well, if we automate, if we adopt AI in this particular way, that is going to further enhance our value, our return on investment. Every organization is talking about that. What is the return on investment? So now that have a very clear plan that you can demonstrate to your executive team. And my second part of that phase is at all levels, when it's going well, when it's going bad, engage with your executive team as much as you can. Try even get an executive sponsor. I know typically an executive sponsor sort of falls off the wayside after the project is finished. Off they move and go on to the next one. Try and stay aligned with that executive so that they can see both the ups and the downs. It's not all roses. Let's not try and kid each other. There are ups and downs, but when they start understanding that journey, as well as the value that we can add to the environment, you're going to get far better buy-in from the executive team than if it's just you coming to them, on an ad hoc basis. So I find that approach definitely assists in that relationship that you need to build with the exec team, as well as with the agents. Same sort of approach, just obviously in a different fashion. So that would be my number one tip to workforce planners looking at AI.
Yeah, I absolutely love, 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 love. I love both of them, but if I had to choose, I love the executive sponsor, because I think what that does is keep you close to the vision. It keeps you close to the heart of what's happening, and it allows you to, again, many times we're looking down, doing the tactical, but it requires you to look up, right, and say, okay, what is your vision? What are we doing? And it keeps that communication, right, going both ways of like, hey, this is what we're working on, and not let this just be something that is project based, but this is, hey, I'm here for the long term strategy of the success of the business. I love that tip about the executive sponsor. Thank you so much for being our guest on this week's Tipsy Thursdays, Tony.
My pleasure.
So, guys, that was such an amazing. I mean, Tony always comes through. That's why he's an all-star repeat guest, right? Is because he always comes through with such amazing tips. Remember, I will link to Tony's LinkedIn caption here. So make sure that you follow Tony for all tips on contact center and connecting with him. Listen, this was such an amazing conversation. If you are not thinking about how your organization is moving from tactical to transformative, if you're not thinking about how you're staying close to the business goals and the strategic goals of the organization, this is a conversation you want to start having. One of the tips that Tony shared that I absolutely love is the executive sponsorship, right? Making sure that you stay close to that executive leadership team, that don't allow this to be something that is project based, or is something that they never even have insight to, something that you're trying to drive, right? When it comes to business alignment, tap them. That can be scary, right? But it will be transformative. Thank you so much for tuning into today's episode. You already know what to do. Go be great and let's make impact. See you guys soon. Bye.